Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing after the long weekend? Hello, Lita and Martha, Missy, Erica, Brenda. Hello, everyone. Welcome everyone that is joining in, and then welcome everyone that will catch the replay later on. I want to say hello. I've missed you all, missed crafting, and tonight we're going to have some fun. So I hope everybody has had a wonderful relaxing weekend, I hope. And today I am going to be playing with some of our dies. I'm going to be creating an ornament, and I usually do this in a live once a holiday season. And so this is going to be this year's ornament. I'm going to go down in my desk view. I've pulled last year's off of my tree, and the year before has gone AWOL. I think it needed some extra adhesive or something from being packed away, and I'm sure I put it right back in the box, but I have last year's to share with you. And then we're going to do something a little bit different tonight. So hello everyone, and let's go down to my desk view. And last year's ornament just happens to be made with a bunch of die cuts as well, and this was created with our Lovely Layers pine cones and lots of glitter and snow. You can see our stitched scallop circles here that I put on the back of. It's just one of those craft ornaments that you can find at one of the big box stores, and just glued the paper on there and made a cute little pine cone shaker. I actually do put this and put the ornaments that I create on my Christmas tree. And so this was last year's, made with paper and dies and all kinds of fun stuff. And then we are going to get started here with this year's ornament. I'm going to attempt to play with some felt tonight. So we're going to mix felt and paper, some sequins, some die cuts, and we've got all kinds of things going here. Okay, so I have some felt cut, and these pieces are cut with our Winter Bouquet. And if you can see here where it actually is going to cut the felt beautifully, it's even going to add the little lines and embossing and things that would cut into your cardstock. Does the same thing into your felt. Now, I will recommend that you find some really good quality wool felt. That is going to die cut the best, but you could use paper on this as well. So we're just going to have a little fun tonight and mix it up. Now, I have used one of our Bitty Buzzwords Joy here, and I just used the dies. And I'm going to use pattern paper from our new Holiday Wishes paper pad. I'm actually using this gray kind of plaid down here to be like the base for my ornament, or what all of my little die cuts are going to set on top of. And let's pull out that Winter Bouquet. So here is our Bitty Buzzword set, and this is the holiday edition, Bitty Buzzwords Holidays. And I have just cut, instead of using the stamp or anything like that, I have just used the coordinating dies, and it has the little background piece or the shadow piece, and then the scripty word that I cut out of gold paper. So did that. And then this is that Winter Bouquet set. So lots of different layering poinsettias. This is an older die set. And so you'll notice that our little Lovely Layers and things like that have come a long way since this set that was released several years back. But this is a great set to die cut and layer and do felt and things like that out of. So that's why I chose this one. Okay, so let's see what we're saying here. Yes, felt. Let's see, cheap felt doesn't cut nicely. You have to buy better quality. Yeah, you do. You have to buy better quality. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to create a ornament out of a small embroidery hoop. And my daughter and I bought a bunch of these. Honeybee Stamps does carry embroidery supplies. So we've got the hoops in all different sizes. We have all kinds of, and all colors that you can imagine of embroidery floss. So if you ever wanted to use your dies to stitch or to stitch on your cards, Honeybee does have that. I'm going to set this little stuff aside. That's got some of my little embellishments and stuff in here. And we're going to talk about the paper first. So I had to think about how I wanted to cut the backer out. So this is going to be the back side, and I'm going to use the Sweet Stacks circles. And all I'm going to do, let me pull this back out here again, is I'm going to take that embroidery hoop and I'm just going to lay it over the top here. And I haven't done this because I wanted to kind of show you how my weird crafty brain works. But I'm just going to lay this over the top, and I want to get kind of the largest circle I can get without the paper hanging over underneath on the back side. And so I think I can take this one here, and I'm going to lay it over the top, and I'm just going to kind of do a test and or look here, and you can see where that's going to line up. It's not going to hang out around the edges. And so this is the size that I'm going to use to cut out what's going to be my backer paper. And I'm just going to lay it right over the top. I'm going to run this through my die machine, and then that way we can get going here on building our little embroidery hoop ornament. And I'm sure a lot of these things, a lot of crafters will just have, you know, I've got a lot of weird stuff in my stash, or not weird stuff, but crafty stuff, paints and threads and all kinds of things like that. All right, so let's pull this out of here. Got that. I've got my little die here. I'm going to leave the paper in there. And then I had to think about how I wanted to adhere everything down. And some of it I'm going to use just our Be Creative adhesive. And then some things I may actually use hot glue. And I have my hot glue gun kind of warming up over here. But I think for just this part, I'm going to be able just to add some of our good old liquid adhesive here. And let me see if there's, if I want one side versus the other. I think I'm going to do it on this side and make sure that that hoop is set in there really nice. And then I'm just going to add a pretty good bead of the liquid adhesive right around the edge. And I'm doing this first because I kind of want that paper to kind of set up on there just a second here. I have not cross stitched since high school, many, many moons ago. Did I say many? Well, you know, I am not, I'm learning how to stitch. My daughter and I have in our, you know, in the evenings when we're kind of sitting around or whatever, my daughter and I, Emily, we've started to stitch. Now I have to tell you, she's way better than I am. And I don't think I want this design to go, I think I want it to be a little diagonal and not just straight up and down. And so I'm going to kind of be watching that here as I lay this over. So I'm going to lay that right over the top. I'm going to flip it over because I can kind of wiggle this around before that glue sets up, and then that's just going to be kind of a backer in here. Now if you had some inexpensive fabric that you wanted to use, you know, we all have, I mean, my goodness, we've all got little paper hoards. I know I do, of, sorry about that, of my pattern paper. I'm going to take this big acrylic block, lay that right over the top so that way it kind of smushes all that down. And I'm going to set that aside while I get busy here on this. Now, I'm not going to do a whole lot of fancy stitches or anything, but I am going to add some sequins and embellishments to the center of the poinsettia. So instead of having a die cut in the center or more felt in the center, This is where I'm going to pull in kind of a little bit of stitching. So if you are a great stitcher, I am not. I mean, by all means, you could just really get fancy with all kinds of stitches here. Okay. So I've got my floss and I just matched it to my sequin mix the best that I could. And so this is the Enchanted Wood sequin mix. Now I believe that this one is sold out, but I looked on the website today and there's lots and lots of different sequin mixes depending on, you know, what you wanted your project to be. But there's greens and all kinds of different colors. And I'm just going to pour this into my little flexible tray. That way it is easier. Whoops. That way it's easier for me to pull out the big green sequins that I want to use on the centers. Now you'll notice I also have some little gold beads. I'm going to kind of hook those in there as well. All right. So here we go. I'm kind of nervous, but I'm just going to make the center of the poinsettia in sequins and the little beads. I'm going to go down just a little bit here, and I'm going to go with a green sequin. So let me pick one up, and I'm going to kind of get this started. So I'm going to go up through the center here. No, I'm not. I'm going to lay this down here. I think I'm going to do 3. So I'm going to go up through the center here, go up right through that sequin. And my eyeballs are so bad that I've got my little cheater glasses on, but it's still hard for me sometimes to get my needle thread and then to hit the centers of these little sequins. So it's going to take me just a second to get that through there. There we go. And then I can take one of these little beads and I'm going to thread that through just like so. And then I'm going to pull this through, and I did knot the end. And then I'm going to go back around this bead and go right back through the same hole in the sequin to catch that little bead on the end. And then hopefully, fingers crossed, you know, I've got a cute little center here. And then I'm going to go again. So I'm going to choose a different spot, kind of move it over a little bit. And then I'm going to hook another sequin just like so. And then I'm going to take another bead. And I'm talking myself through this as I talk to you guys because I am slow. Now, Melissa, who is the owner of Honeybee Stamps, she's like a master stitcher. She's an embroiderer. Is that a word? She's an embroiderer. Like she does all kinds of fancy artwork type stuff with our dies, not with our dies. She does the whole 9 yards. Okay, so I've got 2. I'm going to do one more kind of right over here. I'm going to catch my little sequin. Let's see what you guys are saying. Is this friendship poinsettias? Maybe. What's friendship poinsettias? The die set? The die set is from the Winter Bouquet set. And then I'm going to take another little bead and pull it through. I'm going to start. There we go. And then I'm going to go back down through and catch it. And then pull it. Okay, everybody cooperate here. Okay, I don't have too big of a hot mess back there, but normally the back side of my little projects are a total mess. Okay, now I'm just going to catch the back side of this, being careful not to go through to the other side. And I want to learn how to stitch so bad, and I'm getting there. I can do like the basic like little running stitch pretty much. And I can do, what do you call it? A lazy daisy. I can do that one. Okay, so I've got that. Now let me do my little clippy clip here. And then all the rest of that, I'm just going to let it hang. Okay, so now I've got my little wonky center. And now let's get to what I feel more comfortable with, which is paper. So let's go here. So I've got this. Let's flip it over here. All right, so we've got that. It's pretty well good and dry. Now, these, before I get too far, let's pour these back in here so I don't make a big mess. You're doing great. Thank you. Oh, my word. You're way ahead of me. My daughter does a lot of stitching and embroidery, but I stick with it. Me, Betsy. Well, you, okay, that's my friend Betsy. Betsy and I were at a crafty retreat together a couple months ago, and I was so enthralled with all the stitching because a lot of paper crafters and card makers, when they want to do something different, let me go here so we can like have a friendly little chat. When they want to do something different and feel like, that you want to change it up a little bit, a lot of them stitch, whether it's on their cards or different little stitching projects. And I was so fascinated with all the stitching. Okay, now I know my little joy here, my little buzzword. I know I want that to go up here. And I do want, I did make a big ribbon. I had some red velvet ribbon that I thought would be pretty up here that I'm going to hot glue right there. But I want that to kind of peek out there. So let's do some arranging. So I've got my crazy little poinsettia that's going to sit there. Let's move this little guy. And then I've got all my other little pieces here. So I cut some of the holly leaves. I cut a couple of little pieces of pine. And these are the only two greens that I have. I don't have a lot of felt in my stash. So I just took a dark and a lighter one. So I'm just going to kind of arrange here, and then we'll start kind of gluing everything down. So we can do that. We can do a little pair of holly leaves here. But I was so fascinated. There were ladies that were doing like cross stitch type stuff. And then there were ladies that were making all these fabulous Christmas ornaments and all kinds of, gorgeous, gorgeous things. And I was just so fascinated with all the stitching because it's something different for me. So I just loved every bit of it. Okay, so I think it's going to go something like this. I think that that's kind of cute. You can kind of see everything. And I'm thinking here that I can probably, on the felt pieces, just use my regular adhesive. And then when I get to the ribbon, I think I'm going to put that on with the hot glue. That way it stays down and doesn't come off. So I'm going to lay that there. Let's see. Keiko, hello there. Okay, Amy Reed. I always put them on my tree. I forget them one year and then couldn't figure out why I didn't like the tree. Then it hit me. I added the bows and it was different. Yes, okay, I'm going to do this here. And then I'm going to kind of, I don't mind it coming up over the lip of the embroidery hoop just a little bit. Like that. And then let's take this little leaf, and you can see if I hold it, you can see those little embossing lines that were really pressed into the fibers of the felt. I like that. I like that it even does that. I'm going to kind of have this one right up here underneath the joy. And I'm really going to have that liquid adhesive connect with the paper that's underneath. And let's do our little grouping here. Let's see here. The leaves. Yes, the leaves are, thank you, Betsy. Betsy, you're hired as our assistant. And let's see here. I'm going to have this little guy kind of come over here. All of the little floral pieces here are felt. The backer is paper. The joy is paper. But everything, the die cuts and everything, the felt, I cut with our dies. And, Lisa has done this an awful lot. And as I mentioned before, Melissa is like an expert stitcher, embroiderer. And so she has done an awful lot. I'm going to tuck my little boo-boo string in there. And so let's add this little guy on there. I'm going to add a good heaping dash of adhesive there. And then let's kind of really get that pressed in there. Okay, and I'm going to use my tweezers and kind of hold that down. Okay, let's see here. I love using felt on my cards. I almost did a card tonight with felt because I'm, as I mentioned, Emily and I have been making the stitching little ornaments with our die cuts and things. And I thought, no, I haven't done an ornament this year. And those of you that are just popping in, I'll show you the ornament that I did last year out of all paper die cuts and glitter and some fun things. Okay. So that's looking pretty good. And you could go in if you've got stickles and things like that and glitter. And I mean, the more the merrier in the holidays, right? Okay. Now this is where I'm going to take my hot glue and I'm going to add just a little bit to the back of my bow here. I didn't want to tie the bow on to the little metal piece because I thought, well, that's going to end up coming off or, getting messed up. And so I'm going to hot glue that there. And then there we go. I think that that's pretty cute. Let's kind of spread her little tails out so we can see our little joy. And then there we go. Let's go here. Let's go right like that. Okay. So this year's ornament, handmade ornament. And then let me show you for those of you that are popping in. This is last year. So this is all paper die cuts. And so even the backer is a scalloped and stitched circle. This is our Lovely Layers pine cones inside there with the greenery and the little bow and everything. And I just made it like a little shaker ornament. And these are this little ball is a plastic ball, but it's one of those crafty ornaments that you can take apart and fill with a picture, a family photo, or make your own ornament. And I just glued that down. And then this is going to be this year's little ornament. And I think it's pretty cute. And so everything here, with the exception of the gold beads and the ribbon, all of it is honeybee. So our Winter Bouquet dies. So that is this set that's got the candle, it's got layering poinsettias, a little bow, the pine that I used here, the holly leaves, they're all in the Winter Bouquet die set. And then the backer for it, I just used, most people have some kind of like stacking, layering dies. So I just used a circle that was the right size. And then our buzzword. So this is our Bitty Buzzwords, the holiday edition. This is an older sentiment set, but we still have this in stock. And I just use the coordinating dies for that for the little joy. Okay. All right. So let's see here. Let's see what and I had how long was that? 24 minutes. And all I did off camera was I cut my felt out. That way I would be all done. So Bitty Buzzwords are so perfect. It's so cute up in there. Oh, I didn't even glue it down. Look at that. See what happens? Okay, let's do this. Doot, doot, doot. And then let's kind of, I'm going to be able to tuck it right in there. And let me hold it up and make sure that we're all nice and straight. Oh, there we go. I was afraid I had glued that down crooked, but now look at that. We're all good to go. And so the gold here kind of coordinates here. And I did black because of the really deep, dark stripe in there. And I really wanted that joy to kind of pop out back there. But I like the way that it's looking. I like that. Let's see. I ordered the snowflake die set tonight, and that would be the perfect one. And one of it totally would. I almost pulled out the large snowflakes. I almost did that. And you could do that out of felt. You could use your glittery cardstock. Really, the sky's the limit, really, with dies. And it was funny. Before we do our giveaway here, I was visiting with my mom the other day, who is a quilter and a crocheter. And I was showing her how Emily and I were cutting felt with our dies. And she said, "Oh, well, did you know that they make a die machine for quilters that you can cut your fabric?" And I said, "Well, yeah, Mom, that's the same type of die machine that paper crafters use. But I'm cutting paper and you're cutting quilting fabric." And she said, "Oh," like it dawned on her, like we've got a lot more in common with our craftiness than she thought, because she was looking at die machines to cut her fabric. And I was like, yeah, it's the same thing that we use to cut our paper. Let's see, I love making ornaments, and this is a great idea. Absolutely use your dies that we all have. You can use your hordes of patterned paper. If you're like me, I have a hoard of patterned paper, and just the sky's the limit here on pulling everything out and having a lot of fun and putting everything together. I never can make just one. Gail, I know I may need to recreate this because like do several and then change up the words, change up the position of the poinsettias. I think that would be really fun. And while I have you all here, let me show you what Emily's been working on. Pause for just a second. But she has, for our church friends, this is what Emily has been making out of the little hoops. So she carves her own stamps and does her own, pretty much what it is you can buy the stuff that almost looks like our red rubber stamps, and she carves her own artwork in it. And so this is what she's gifting to like church friends, and she stamped it in red, and she's very crafty. So that's what she's been working on. So we've got lots of little embroidery hoops, and we've got paint and all the things over there. So what size is the hoop? I will tell you. It is this one is a 4-inch. And I honestly think I was afraid that this was going to be too big, but honestly, it's just about perfect. Like this is a big mama right here. This is really big. This is just about perfect because I feel like it's not too crowded in there. It's not too huge for your tree. And honestly, I like big ornaments on my tree. Some of them I've got are really big. So I think that this 4-inch is a really good size for little die cuts and things in there. So, food for thought. Let's see. Now to go find hoops. Yes. Now that is next level. Making your own stamps. She does that, and she stamps it onto, this is too much information again, but she has stamped t-shirts. She has stamped like, the little canvas, like shoppier, like market bags. She's made her own little like stamp for a market bag. I'll stick with my honeybee stamps because carving your own stamps and doing all that is beyond me. Bring on the TMI. You guys are awesome. I've missed you guys this last week. Let's see. Remember carving red and rubber to make elementary school art. Yes. That's what she loves, doing all that stuff. And she has carved, like she's into like sea life and animals. She's going to she's getting her biology degree, and so she carved one that's like whales and different type of fish, and it's a lot of work. She is into all that. So she's brainy and she's artsy. So I'm proud of her. All right, Lisa, it is time for our giveaway this evening. Does your daughter take orders? Because I need an idea. I have an idea I need help with. Always joy. Just email me at I'm going to flash the email up here in a minute and we'll ask her. Let's see. Catherine Alley, you are the winner. Congratulations to Catherine. Okay, Miss Catherine, if you will email me, Kelley, Kelley at honeybeestamps.com, I will hook you up with your prize. I want to remind everyone that it's not too late. The dies at Honeybee right now are buy one, get one half off, or they're 25% off of all dies right now. So until, I'm guessing, midnight tonight or something like that. So thank you guys for all of your orders this weekend. I've seen a lot of your names come in emails and orders, and we appreciate you so much. And I guess I will see you guys back here on Wednesday. I just had a flashback carving stamps. Yes. Congratulations to Catherine. My Black Friday order shipped today. That is super fast. I'm so excited for you. Yes, thank you all so much. We really appreciate you. And I will see you again on Wednesday. Bye-bye, friends.